Sure, selling a home with solar panels, sounds simple, right? That is until the buyer starts asking questions like, who owns the panels? Or worse, the lender says those solar panels, they're gonna count as debt. Well, in this video, I'm gonna break down everything you need to know before your house hits the market, how to avoid any potential delays in escrow, and I'm also gonna cover whether or not solar panels actually add value to your home. Plus, if you stick around, I'm going to cover something that too many sellers don't think about when selling a home with solar panels. Okay, so before you do list your home, put it on the market, the first thing you want to address is how are the solar panels owned? And here's what I mean by that. First, are the panels owned outright? Because this is definitely the best case scenario, although in my experience, not most common for most homeowners, but it can add value and is the easiest way to transfer over to the new owner. If they are financed, lenders will look at this almost similar to a lien, meaning it has to be paid off or transferred to the buyer, which will require lender approval. If they're leased, this can be a little tricky because the buyer has to qualify in order to assume the lease. And some buyers, they may not want the extra monthly payment. My recommendation on this though is check all your paperwork. Look at your solar agreement, any early payoff statements, ideally before your house hits the market. This way you avoid any possible surprises while you're in escrow.
Surprise!
Hey, real quick, if this is your first time here, my name's Jose and I am your SoCal Realtor. Here we help Inland Empire homeowners sell smart, buy their next home better, and move with confidence. So if you are thinking about making a move, don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I, we are here and ready to help. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get back to the rest of the video. Now, I did just now hint at this as to whether or not solar panels do add value to your house. And the answer to that is it really depends because not all solar setups will impact value the same way. When the panels are owned, meaning they're owned free and clear, there's no financing anymore, they're paid off. In most cases, the panels will boost appraised values by $10,000 to sometimes as much as $30,000, depending obviously on the age, the size, the efficiency, as well as the remaining life for the system. If the solar panels are leased, they rarely add value. They're really viewed more like a utility contract, at least when it comes to the home value, that is. And if the system is still financed, that too, at least in most cases anyway, does not generally add much value to the appraised value. Now, even if the solar panels don't increase the appraised value, meaning the appraiser doesn't look at that as an increase in the value, it could, if done right, those solar panels still could increase the desire for your house. Here's what I like to tell my sellers that are selling with solar panels. We don't want to just simply tell the buyer, hey, this house has solar. No, we want to tell them what that means for them, what that's going to do for that buyer. So like, for example, if your electric bill averages $50 a month instead of $250, maybe $350 a month, that right there, that's a story worth telling. When it comes to solar, probably one of the biggest mistakes I do see is waiting too long to bring out the details about the solar, about the system. Trust me. Solar can and it will delay the close of your escrow if the buyer or the lender do find out the details about the solar late in the game. Make sure that the buyer's lender knows the details about the solar system because lenders will typically treat any solar payments as a debt, which can affect the approval they have on their loan, on their mortgage. Trust me, no one wants to find out. You're halfway through escrow. You're getting excited. You can see the finish line, only to find out that buyer, they're not going to end up being able to qualify to purchase your house. Like I said, though, I wouldn't just simply say, hey, house has solar, you'll love it, right? It doesn't tell the buyer anything. They're not seeing what is the value they're going to get from the solar system on your house. So this isn't necessarily my exact recommendation because every house can be different. This house versus this house. It could be, even though they both have solar, the scenarios could be slightly different. So just here's kind of a generic example of what I would probably go with. Energy efficient solar system keeps average power bills under $50 a month, fully owned, no lease. Or if the system is leased, solar panels under an affordable lease, buyer can assume and enjoy reduced utility costs immediately. Hey, quick question. I'm just kind of curious, if you are selling your house and you obviously have solar panels on it right now, your next home, the home that you are looking to go and buy, I'm curious, are you looking for another home that has solar panels already, or are you looking to avoid solar panels? I'm just kind of curious. Do me a favor, let me know in the comments below. Again, like I said, solar panels can help increase the appraised value for your house, depending on the financing structure. But what I would do very early on to help ensure that the appraiser does consider that is I would gather all the paperwork on the panels. This way you can show proof of ownership, you can show the age or the installation date for your system, as well as the original cost. Just keep in mind that one appraiser might give a little bit more value than the next appraiser, depending on the comparable data that they use for their calculations, for their comparables. So I couldn't tell you what that difference would be. I would say this: the more information you have readily available, certainly the more it can help you. Now, for whatever reason, you'll have some buyers that'll look at the solar and say, that's an automatic plus, that's a benefit, I love it. And for whatever reason, you're gonna have another buyer that it's gonna look at the same house with the same solar system and start questioning it. I don't know, is that really, is it gonna be a hassle? Is this gonna cost me more? Just like with the appraiser, just like with the lender, same thing with the buyers. The more information, in fact, like I said just a moment ago about how you want to promote it, how you want to sell the features and benefits of your solar system, how much you could potentially save, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, that is going to help you with each and every buyer that comes to see your house. Obviously, you can't tell them exactly what they're going to save, but you can tell them what you've saved every month. Also, information on the warranty, that's going to be big, because I promise you that's something that pretty much every buyer is going to want to know. Just listen, the more comfortable a buyer is with the solar system, with the solar panels on the house, the better it's going to be for you when it comes to getting an offer for your house. Now, what is the thing that I mentioned? Back at the beginning, I said that too many sellers don't think about typically when selling a house with solar panels. That's the roof. Here's what I mean by that, because if your roof is, it's a little bit older, maybe it's nearing the end of its life cycle, buyers that they could be looking up at that and thinking, not just simply, oh man, we might have to replace that roof. They might be thinking, we have to have the solar panels removed, put a new roof on the house, whatever that's going to cost, and then how much is it going to cost to put the solar panels back on the house? Does that mean you got to go and put a new roof on the house before selling? And the answer is no, not necessarily. In fact, actually, I probably wouldn't do it at all. What I would say is this. Now, first of all, keep in mind, this is without me being able to personally see your house. But I would just say is, maybe one possible option there is maybe a credit to the buyer if you had to go that route, but maybe a credit to the buyer. But I would say before doing anything, before settling on anything, is just bring it up to your agent, have them take a look, get their thoughts, their feedback on what your best options might be. Of course, if you do have any questions, or if you are thinking about buying or selling, my contact information is below. Feel free to reach out. Otherwise, until then, we'll catch you on the next one.